One, two, three, four.
What is up, family? Welcome back to another episode of Breakfast with Brothers.
Good to see everybody. What's up? What's poppin'? Hope you're well. Hope you're chilling. In for another episode. What are we talking about today, dude?
Dude, today,
Today?
we're talking about something that everyone probably hates or can agree that they do not like, and it's small talk. Small talk. Let's give it up. Let's give it up for small talk. All right.
As the journey begins, you'll realize that small talk it's just there as filler. Especially when you're working on the clock, something like that. Or another example, when you're waiting in line to get anything anywhere. The grocery store, checking out, buying hot dogs at a baseball game. Anywhere there's a line. You're always just trying to do something to fill time. If you're not scrolling on your phone, that's most of what I do. But small talk always comes in handy if you got people you know that you're with, or a very talkative stranger. I mean, that's the best time it happens.
Yeah, no, I absolutely despise small talk. Not all the time. I would say all the time. With an absolute stranger, I really don't care. Because I know it's going to last maybe like 2 minutes and then they're gone, or I'm gone. But when it's with like someone that you sort of know, and like the person that you were hanging out with is gone, they disappeared into a crowd somewhere or something, or they went to go to the bathroom, and you're stuck with that person, it's like, nothing against the person. It's just you're looking at me and I'm looking at you and I got nothing to say. But yet I'm going to start something up just to ease that awkward tension out of the room, And it's going to be something like, crazy weather we're having lately, Like it's been like really cold, or it's
I've
been
heard people
really
tell
warm.
me that the awkward conversation for them is something they avoid entirely. Like they just embrace the silence. And that's because they don't want to be either A, the person who starts small talk, or B, a part of it at all. So if it's engaged, then it's kind of just like they didn't hear them, or if they did, they ignore them or something like that. Now that's like the perfect scenario for people, introverted or not. I think it's, just one of those things where if you hate small talk that much, you're probably not going to engage into it. And then there's those people out there that are the exact opposite, where they love talking to people, they love meeting new people, or they're just outgoing as hell. And then you got the old, hey, nice weather we're having, huh? Or, what did you study in school? Or, hey, what are you doing for work right now? Something like that. Any one of those.
Oh, hey,
any one
cool
of those
shoes.
But compliments are cool. That's not necessarily small talk, because a compliment
that's
could
true.
just be a
That's
pass
true.
by. It could just be a, oh my God, dude, that's a sick shirt. And then that's pretty much it. You're walking past each other on the sidewalk or somewhere, wherever. That's different.
See, you know what? I actually did that this past weekend when we were in Alfred. There was a guy wearing I love MILFs shirt, and I said, yo, sweet shirt, And he's like, oh, yo, thanks, bro. Dap me up, and then we were on our way,
Oh, thanks, bro.
So, I
But
mean,
that's the thing. That small talk exists between everybody. People, girls complimenting each other's hair or something like that, shirts, outfits, what have you. Guys, shoes, watches. I mean, even just people passing by a car. Oh, sick, someone stepping into their car, whatever. So I feel like that, I guess it could be small talk, but it's different. It's not something where you're standing in like a bar or a social gathering, barbecue, stuff like that. I mean, you're not really happening much else. Like, you go to a place with your relatives and stuff like that. Relatives you don't normally talk to. Trying to talk to them is, a completely different story, because it's just like I have no like mutual interests in common. Just one of those things.
yeah, I was gonna say there's definitely some trouble with with some relatives that like you haven't seen, or you haven't been a part of their lives like as heavily as maybe you should have been. I don't know. It's just because they live in different locations. But yeah, it's like completely different people, yet we're related. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. Like, Let me hear more. Gets tough. It gets tough sometimes. And no disrespect to them. Bless you.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, no, I always love it when I'm waiting in line and some guy behind me is like, "Oh, dude, I've been waiting in this line all day." And literally we just stepped in together and like just got on the line or something like that. It'd be something stupid.
But those people are the best.
That's true. Yeah, I do enjoy a good heckler every now and again. Well, maybe not heckler, but
The
I don't know.
complainer.
Yeah, just a guy to like ease the tension of the waiting in line, I guess, or like the pain of having to stand there in silence while some guy's taking 8 months to order something or to get something.
It's funny because in those longer lines, like when you said amusement parks, for example, or something like that, those guys that get in the back of the line, whenever they're saying something like that, they always have some story to tell of somewhere else in the park that's just as bad or was just as bad. Like their experience was just like, yo, I was waiting at the Condor for like 3.5 hours, and this line says it's gonna take 4.5. Like one of those things where they're just like starting to tell a story. And he's like, and then I saw someone come by, get picked up in an ambulance, and then my son, he almost passed out, and then they just keep going on, and then it becomes more than small talk because it's not. Actually, maybe even less. You're not talking. You're just there listening, existing behind you, or in front of him, I should say, just kind of nodding your head and just reacting. Just like, what? No way. Just because you're playing into it, and I feel like that it's its own version. Again, like the compliment thing, it's its own version of small talk. I don't even know. Maybe we should name all of them. Maybe we should get it started here. Maybe people start picking up on it.
Like categorizing?
Yeah, exactly.
I kind of know. That just kind of reminded me, like if we were to go wait in line somewhere else after the events that happened this weekend, we were getting our pandas.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
dude, some guy just dropped in pandas.
Of course, it's in the Chinese restaurant. Who knows? It could have been just from pure salt in the food. That's the place to get it done.
I think the guy just looked dehydrated as all hell. He just dropped flat. That was kind of an event, but
You'll get
yeah,
that on
no.
your bigger jobs.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I'm not one to enjoy small talk of any sort. I usually like sitting in silence, but sometimes I don't know if the other person likes to sit in silence either, and if that's something that they want to do. And so, like, they'll talk to me and they'll chirp something towards me, and then they're looking at me like I got to continue the conversation. And so I try to, and then it ends up kind of just being, like you said, even more awkward than it was at the start of this.
That's the worst when they're expecting another something from you, whether or not that's a question or just saying something about you or what's going on. That's the worst. That's the worst. Just because you're just like you're caught in a trap, man. You already have conversation going, and then they're waiting for you to say something again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. Like, there's something about it. There's something about it that just doesn't sit well with me. And I'm not one to like. I'm not terrible at starting conversation. I'm sort of an awkward guy already as it is. I'm pretty quiet most of the time, and if I am loud, it's like because I know you very well. But for the most part, like, these conversations go nowhere for me, and I end up talking more about myself, and they're looking at me like, okay, you just dropped all this information on us, but yet here they are asking me for this information, and it's like, you wanted to hear it, here it is.
Well, that's the thing. You never know what they're all going to take in. They might just be listening to listen, whether or not that's because, they're just baked as a cake sitting around somewhere, or maybe you're at a bar talking to someone who's, half out of it, 3 sheets to the wind. Or it could just be in a social gathering where everyone's hanging out, having a barbecue or whatever, playing a game or something outside. It's like the worst case scenario, because you went into conversation, you had that conversation, but also you most likely know that person's not super invested in what's going on. They're just kind of, they know you, they mess with you. Unless they're really about you and they're really your friend and stuff like that, they're kind of just like in the middle zone deciding if this is the type of person that they need to like worry and continue talking to, or it's just one of those situations where it's just like, this probably isn't going to mean anything in another 3 days. It's like, where does it end up falling?
Yeah, I definitely had those conversations where I'm talking to some person, and it's like they're telling me their life story, and I just kind of do one of these, like, oh, that's really cool, dude. But I gotta go to the bathroom quick. I'll come back. Don't worry.
Classic bathroom excuse.
Or I'll just say, oh yeah, I gotta get going. I gotta catch up with my friends over here. Cool talking to you. And then I never see him again.
Yeah, isn't that the best? Well, that's an easy one to get out of, because usually for me, I usually actually have to go to the bathroom. It works out perfectly. But besides the point, it is a great escape. Because that's another good one too, when you get into a conversation that someone starts with you that you had zero intention of being in, and it's just one of those things where either you got to go somewhere, like you're in a rush to be somewhere, you actually do have to go to the bathroom, which again was what I was getting at, or
Right.
just the simple case of, man, this guy is the worst person to talk to. He never stops, and you just got to get out of there before he even has a chance. Those situations are possibly worst case.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, definitely the guy that talks too much. I have some friends that do talk a lot, and you already know who I'm thinking about, Zach, and he already knows who we're thinking about if he's actually listening.
Oh, sure.
But I swear to God, he can start a conversation about a cracker and keep going for like, he could turn it into like talking about the infrastructure of the United States, from that to that in less than 20 minutes.
But that's what's so great about it, because you saw that flow from a cracker to infrastructure. The ingredients of the cracker are similar to the ingredients of building a building and making the skyscraper tall. It's like one of those things where it's like our conversation, like that's what small talk could become too, and then it escalates away from small talk. It becomes intellectual conversation, or whatever platform that exists on. It's like what tier, small talk, the base, and then after that you have, increasing lines of what can be considered small talk.
I guess you have like small talk, which is like, hey, how are you? Oh, nice weather. They're like, oh man, this line's really long. Then it goes to like, like, oh, what do you do for work? Like the work area. So you got small talk, you got work area.
Working area, right? That's important, because then each of you could talk about your jobs. You could talk about
Right.
what you do, your experience in other places before the job you're working now. That does get deep. That's true.
Yeah, so like the work area is definitely outside of the area of small talk, because like now at least you're talking about each other, like you're explaining about yourselves.
Right.
And then I would say like the next one up is definitely not politics. Politics comes a little later when you get to know the person a little bit more. So you got work area, then you got like, I don't know, I guess like where you're from,
Probably
you
family
coming from?
talk. If you have if you have a wife, any kids, maybe even talk about like siblings and, like you said, where you grew up. That kind of sits in the same ballpark.
Yeah, I would say a little bit more like comfortability, and then it's politics, and you start talking about stuff like that, similar ideas, similar
when you find out
concepts.
which way they lean and all that. Yeah, right.
Yeah, beliefs, whether or not you want to hate them, that type of deal. And then
Is that after that you become friends? Is that the next level?
no,
'Cause
I'd say
you
you're
were able to
probably
get through all that.
I'd say you're probably friends. Like for a guy, I'd say you're probably friends around like the family area, where you get to know each other a little bit more. It's like, oh yeah, this guy's cool,
I will say each of those levels comes with different amounts of conversation too. Because if it's continually small talk and you always just see each other randomly, then it becomes one of those scenarios where there's not really any friend advantage. It's just you're there, he's here, we're at the same event, or she's here, what have you. And then what was our second one? Work conversation? That could be between
Yep.
employees too, dude. So that, you might not even be
True.
friends there. That could just be you doing stuff on the job together. You don't really like hang out, but you're friendly at work and stuff like that. Like my buddies at work, I'd hang out with like otherwise, but if we do hang out, we're playing golf more often than anything. So I feel like then that border can be like moved up depending on if you like the people you work with or people that you've spoke with that you've met through work. Yes. And then what did we say after that? The family, the
Yeah.
siblings where you grew up. Like, yep. Okay. Yeah, that could definitely come with some more conversations, because then eventually, like, oh, it's like, oh, hey, here's I'm gonna introduce you to my wife type thing, like, and they went out to dinner or something like that. Or I guess another perfect scenario would be like maybe you are somewhere with a brother or one of your children or something like that, having ice cream, and you meet him at the same Dairy Queen or something like that. Perfect.
Meet him at the same Dairy Queen. Yeah.
Then you're really friends. If you guys go
See,
to the
that's what
same
I'm
Dairy
saying.
Queen, you meet each other's children. You guys have some type of more conversation than just like that casual small. Then it's perfect. It's meant to form into something from there. That's when it really starts arcing.
Oh, Zach, say hello to my 13 kids. This is Jeffrey, Jimmy, Daniel, Michael, Rebecca.
I only got through 5. I have too many kids to remember.
I'm
just
sorry.
started calling them noises.
I got 13 kids. I got 12 wives, and I can barely keep up anymore.
Then you're really friends. You're about to be a babysitter too.
Exactly. You're about to get no money to watch all these kids.
You're about to become an aunt and uncle, 45 children strong.
45 children.
Christmas gifts are going to be a real hellhole, I'll tell you what.
Dude, I can't imagine buying for 13 kids.
I couldn't imagine having 13 kids to take care of. Regardless if that's, on my own, like just 13 kids is a lot. Is a lot. Dude, that's more than 2 dozen kids. That's 2 dozen. That's more than a dozen kids.
That's a baker's dozen, dude. That's a baker's dozen of kids right there.
It's more than a dozen kids.
It's a baker's dozen.
That's a lot of mouths to feed. You know how many showers you got to take?
Well, if you're counting husband and wife with the kids, that's 15. 15 showers a day if you do it daily.
Mom and dad are having small talk with those kids. Mom and dad has no time to develop a relationship with those kids. Mom and dad goes up to Rebecca. It's like, so how's the weather been, Rebecca?
How's the weather been lately? Doing good in school? Good. All right, I'll see you around.
What grade are you in again? Second. Oh, got it. Okay.
All right, Jeffrey, get over here. How's school been? Good? Good. All right, you getting good grades? Okay, good. All right, get along. Go ahead.
Who
All right,
spilled
Daniel.
over the iced tea yesterday? I can't remember if it was Jack or Jimmy. Both of you get over here.
Jack, Jim, Janiel,
Janiel.
Jeffries.
Honestly, that's a pretty decent family right there. Just 4 J's and a Rebecca. I mean, I know that's not 13 kids, but the other ones, if you just made up names, it would probably be okay. But that's the thing. Like, if you're a friend with a person who has 13 kids, you're either in it for the long haul or you have to escape early, very early. Like, if you work together and you're friendly, you got to get a new job. I mean, there's no... if you want to be with them, that's fine. Keep your job. But if you don't want to be in and around these kids and start to, like, develop a friendship with this guy, you're going to have to change jobs. That's the only way.
Yeah, I would probably get the hell out of that job. That probably wouldn't stay. I'd get too close to the family, and then I'd have to start watching them. Personally, it's just
Become a work sitter.
yeah, it's I gotta get out. I gotta go. I gotta get out. I can't stay here.
I will say,
gotta
though,
go.
that's one of those things. Small talk can get you in trouble, but it's so necessary. I mean, it's not really great for networking or anything like meeting people, but there's also no other way to meet people than ask them what their name is, how they're doing, what they do for work, where they're from, stuff like that. It's like an introduction. It's like it's giving someone a business card out loud, and it's just kind of like, yeah, I'm selling myself, except I'm not a business. I'm just a person.
Truthfully, we just got to start asking people just random questions like, do you like the color blue?
I mean,
And
I
just
do
holding-
that, but like well deep on in the conversations of more than once. I don't think I've ever asked someone their favorite color or like their favorite restaurant the first time I met them. I don't think
I
so.
think that's just got to be the first first question right off the bat. It's just got to be a random one.
Do you put on your left sock or your right sock when you get up in the morning?
How often do you wash your shoes? Just something weird, you know. You gotta like. Did you drink water today?
Yeah. If you had to get rid of Dr. Pepper or Mountain Dew forever, which one would it be? But see, that's the thing. Like, you can't just go up to someone and ask them that question. Not that I care about like what people think about me, but if you are a person who relies on relationships and being an outgoing person and like someone who people like, going and asking random questions is probably not the vibe. But there are people out there that would probably respect it a lot. And if you're going about it that way, you're probably going to make an interesting group of friends. That's all I have to say about that. Am I wrong?
No, you're not. It's like the age old question. Do you like do you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain? You know.
If you're not into yoga.
If you have half a brain.
Got him. Thank you for listening. We're singing on the podcast now. Next week, we're going to have a hit single out called Small Talk.
It's called Cast Pod. No,
Cast
but for real,
Pod Talk
yeah.
Small.
I think if someone randomly came up to me and asked me like a stupid question, just out of the blue, I probably wouldn't answer it, and I'd probably just ignore them or just keep walking or something.
Oh,
But,
come on. It totally depends on the person. And absolutely how they ask it, depending on tone, what they look like, etc.
I think you're right on that. I think it depends on like how they come up to me and like approach me in general. Like, 'cause if they're very lighthearted and they come up like maybe laughing a little bit, like I'm probably gonna answer. But if they come up and like I don't even know, like, 'cause I feel like deadpan would get me too. Like, I would definitely answer someone that just was like, let's see, let's think of a really stupid question.
Best scenario upcoming.
Yeah, let's see, like, do you like turkey sandwiches or ham sandwiches? And just straight up out of nowhere ask me that question. I'd probably say, oh, you know what? I like myself a good turkey sandwich. I'm not gonna lie.
So then, for you, it more depends on the question than it does the person.
I think more the question. I think if I knew the person relatively, and I didn't like them, then maybe that's a different case. But if it's a complete stranger,
yes, that's the scenario. Complete stranger.
They weren't like scary looking, like really scary looking, and like they aren't some like, I don't know, just like dumb kid trying to get an asshole answer kind of out. You know what I mean? Like just someone like to really like bother you or something.
I get it.
Then yes, I probably would answer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all about being outgoing, and I feel like if someone's making that attempt and they don't seem violent, or someone who can get in that like year-long conversation that we were talking about earlier, then yeah, I'll answer it. Sure, absolutely. There's only two scenarios in my head that would go through it when a stranger would ask me a random question like that. And again, the sandwich question is just one of those things, and it realistically could be anything. Could be even on like a deeper, more personal level. But I still think most of the time it would deserve an answer. If it was directed at me, like if I'm in a crowd, chances are I'm not answering. I'm just going to let someone else either take the answer, take the fall, and just let the guy ask it again or something like that. But if I completely know he's looking at me asking, stranger to stranger, I'm probably going to answer it.
Yeah, I mean, like sometimes I overhear someone like asking like a weird ass question to someone.
Well, that too. But I'm not interjecting either. Like I'm not I'm a big mind your own business guy, and like don't be nosy unless there is some need. But usually there's not a need to be nosy, because I think the definition of nosy is being someone who is like snooping and prying and looking for info like that. So, but that's one of those things. Like you're not engaging in any like snooping or anything like that, if you're having small talk with like a group of people, I feel like that's whatever. Like if you hear someone talk about the Mets game, or if you hear someone talking about like tomorrow's rain that's coming, or you hear someone talking about their new Chevy they just bought or something like that, then it's just going to be like, oh, I got this Chevy too, or something like, oh, actually I heard the rain's not coming until Saturday, or what was the other question I had? The I don't even remember.
I don't remember either.
Mets game. Point is, jump into baseball and sports. That's easy. Because if you have a mutual interest there and it's just like, oh, did you see so-and-so? Then it becomes like whatever. You jumped in. That makes sense.
That's a good point. I don't know. I don't know. I was going to say something.
Why not?
I was going to say something, but I completely forgot what I was going to say. Completely
About
just
being nosy?
about being nosy. Yeah, no, I guess I don't really interject in like other people's conversation unless like they're kind of like they know that I've definitely heard their entire conversation or something, you know what I mean? Like if I was standing right next to them and like they knew, like then I feel like I would have an obligation to interject and add in like, I guess just a little finesse to the whole conversation. But besides that, I'm not interjecting at all. I'm just gonna laugh or like kind of chuckle to myself and continue on with my day as I was.
Right. Plus, if you're there with other people, you can interject to revive the conversation. Especially if things are going south or someone's not talking or whatever. You might be a shining light for the person that just dropped out of the conversation.
Very true. Very true. Yeah. No. Definitely true. Because like then you could just pretty much continue the conversation in any direction. You are the game changer right there for the entire trajectory of that entire conversation. You could be taking it to new levels.
What did you say?
I said you can completely take it to the next level. What did you say?
I said that it can also completely disassemble.
Yeah, you could also bring the conversation right to the ground. Excuse me.
Just walk into a conversation and be like, oh, yep, we're out of here. Later. I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, just get a load of this guy. that type of.
We better get out of here. This guy's coming over.
We gotta get out of here. We gotta go. We can't stay here.
That's like most people in Walmart. Like if you're at the produce section, you got someone in Walmart coming up that's just dressed in some type of questionable outfit, and they only have one shoe on. It's just like, we gotta get out of here. We gotta leave.
Honestly, I'm trying to think the last time I saw someone dressed up weirdly in Walmart.
I think it happens once every time I go.
Well, Johnson City is pretty rough over there. You got some interesting characters. The last time I went to Johnson City Walmart, there was like 4 people that I saw that were dressed up weirdly.
That's a record, dude. Let's go.
There was a guy standing outside. He was like in this massive black trench coat. I walk in. There's like this lady wearing, like a relatively overweight lady wearing like these like massive rainbow sweatpants or whatever they were. Looked like clown pants. I'm sorry to the lady that I'm describing.
Shout out clown pants.
Then there was like, oh yeah. We had to use the bathroom in the Walmart. That's the whole reason we went in. I went all the way into the back, got into the bathroom, man in there, full on pants all the way down at the urinal.
That's the place to do it. Walmart.
Dude, I walk right in, straight butt cheeks, right in my eyes. I had to leave. I had to walk out of the restroom and just start like laughing as I walked out. And then I can't even remember the 4th person. I think it was the man that was waiting for the man in the bathroom. He was like lurking around the bathroom when I walked out. But I can't remember too much about it after those 3
Lurking.
people. But yeah, dude in the bathroom just full on cheeking it, pants all the way down to the ankles at the urinal.
Now that's someone you don't engage in small talk with.
Yeah, you're definitely not asking
That's
that guy
someone
how
you
he's
look
doing.
at your buddy and you go, "We're gone."
Just, but yeah. Get a load of this guy.
Sheesh.
Walk up next to the urinal. Hey, you come here often?
The only person I want to engage in small talk with, possibly the best person. He's going to be my lifelong friend, guaranteed.
He's probably got some good stories, dude. He's probably got some great stories.
All right, next time you see it, let me know.
I'm not, definitely not. But on that point, let's we gotta wrap up the pod for today. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, listening. We hope you enjoyed the little episode on small talk. I sure did. I'm sure this guy did too.
A lot of fun. Thank you for coming out.
But if you can leave a like, comment, and subscribe, check us out on Spotify. If you're listening on YouTube, if you're listening on Spotify, check us out on YouTube. Follow us over on Spotify too, please. Please. And we'll catch you guys on the flippy flop. Peace out.
Out for the, I'm walking the bull, out for the, out for the, out for the, out for the, out for the.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.